Got it.
I like that card guard too. That's pretty good. Oh man, but I can't see how many cards he's got in hand. That's unfortunate.
Yep, that is definitely covered by important information being covered all around. Can't tell how many resources he's on, how many cards he's got in hand, how many cards are in his deck or his graveyard. That happens. He's probably got at least 7 resources. Actually, he's maybe got Hex Geode in the deck, so maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, this looks like a game where there might have been an extinction already, and the Reese came up after the extinction, maybe?
Yeah, there's about 19 cards missing from Nullfem's deck, so this is pretty deep into a match. Reese is just going to keep creating random robots on the other side of the board. And I'm not really sure there's anything that the Dwarf aggro board can do. It looks like Reese has created an Electroid and a Terrabot, so that stops most of the ground and air troops that Dwarf aggro would have.
Right. Yeah, those are pretty much the best dwarf robots in the deck anyway. Other than maybe Mega Hulk.
So we see the swing. Reasonably safe troops going in.
Yeah, the Electroid can't block on Studio Maslar's side. Probably wouldn't matter too much either way, though. We do see a block from the Hornet Bot, which might mean that there's still a troop left in Studio's hand. Again, kind of hard to tell. Okay, and we do see, looks like Mecha T-Hex coming up for Reese. It's looking like this one's game over.
Yeah, it's a lot of high power Reese creations. I mean, Reese has a couple of duds, no doubt about it. Generally speaking, you're going to get something good, but those are probably all top tens.
Yep, you see another worker bot creation. But with his opponent at 17, I'm not sure that there's anything. Even if he was playing something like Grok, that would be able to win it for him here. Let's see that alternate art Buccaneer coming in. Get rid of another blocker.
Not really necessary at this point, but it certainly seals the deal, if anything.
Yep, get rid of that last flying blocker, and now Studio's just going to be dead to the flyers in the air. Guess he could have something like Time Ripple, since we can't see the hand. Nope, and that one is defeat. right, we'll hang out here for another minute or so, see if there's another game coming up. That might have been game three. We're pretty far along in the round.
Yeah. If I had to guess, that was their game 2/3 that finished it up. Well, it looks like there is a challenge going out, so
Cool. We get another one. I love it when it works out like this, where we get to see a match that goes all the way to the end there. That works out pretty nicely. I like to fill in the time. And also see awesome Hex players going on. All right, since Studio did end up losing that last game, he should get the option to play here first, which he'll probably take.
almost certainly.
Looks like Studio trying to make an adjustment for our benefit here on the stream. Although it looks like we're waiting for his opponent here anyway.
He's probably asking if Studio wants to play or go first, and he's not checking chat.
Perfect. And now we get to see that opening hand there.
Yeah, I'm not sure he wants that to be a thing.
Yeah, we'll be careful about what we're saying since we're not sure if he's delayed or not here.
Yeah, he was actually responding to chat. Sophie giving out wrong information. Jeez, Sophie.
So both players do decide to go ahead and keep their opening 7. And Maslar is going to go ahead and... Oh, I just noticed he has an anagram of his name there. For his champion keep. Huh.
Mm-hmm. So we see that Shard of Cunning come out, pulls out the blood. Interesting when you're not... interesting when you're not playing a diamond player, that the blood almost always comes out first, because like I was talking about earlier, that double blood so much stronger than double other shards.
It's
Double
true.
sapphire is okay because it opens up counter magic early, but generally speaking, if we're talking cards that cost 5 or less, the strongest cards are either double blood or, to some extent, double wild.
That's definitely true. Like it, and if you're falling behind and you're missing on your shards, like usually the double blood cards are the ones that can get you back into it. Whether it's Vampire King or Extinction or so on. So after tunneling on turn 2, there's no play from his opponent. Looks like Maslar's thinking about his next play here.
I wonder if we'll see the... yeah, we do see the charge power. And a construction plans for the Hornet bot hits the board.
So a little bit of a slower start here, but could be okay with what he's got tunneled going on there.
Buccaneer. That'll Buccaneer a worker bot. We were talking about this again earlier. Nobody's thrilled to have to replay a worker bot if it gives you something to do with your resources, though. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that is an aggressive use of the Buccaneer there.
Speaking of aggressive, we will see the response burn here, dealing 2 damage to and destroying that Buccaneer. The pirate comes on swinging over. Yar ha! To Davy Jones' locker. I'm on fire.
Burn your face. You're dead.
These and more sound effects coming to you with set 3.
Could be that his opponent is trying to just get him to reuse the two resources here. Maybe he's got Vampire King follow up and he just wants to make sure the coast is going to be clear from counter magic.
It's absolutely certain that that could be the case. Uh, and we see the response a little bit ambitious here. We see like just the Hornetbot being created on turn.
And right, right. Yeah, that's a little aggressive here. Like he could have waited to see if the opponent's going to have extinction. Although I doubt that he would spend an extinction to get just a worker bot anyway. But he does have Sorrow, and he pays for going for the activation too soon now. The Sorrow will end up killing both of his bots now. So we do see a War Machinist that gets played here. Man, Maslar just representing that he doesn't have any counter magic.
Yeah, but I guess he's just kind of playing. He's just kind of playing solitaire here. He's just seeing if his deck wins. He's not like I'm not sure. He hasn't really been like thinking out his moves too much. He's just kind of playing them, you know? Like the well, from what I understand, we are watching a slightly newer player. So
Yeah, for the
that is
people,
potentially part of it.
yeah, for the people who are watching who maybe haven't seen a lot of Hex before, one of the big cards, especially when you're playing at Sapphires, you always have to keep counter magic in mind. And counter magic is a 3 cost card with a double Sapphire threshold that will counter any card that your opponent plays. So if your opponent has 3 resources available, it won't necessarily stop you from just playing whatever card that you had, but at least make them think about it. But when you do go ahead and just use up abilities or play cards on your turn that use up, all of your resources, that pretty much telegraphs the opponent, hey, you should go ahead and play something this turn if you want to. There actually can be reasons why you might want to do that. Maybe you want to give your opponent a false sense of security, have them overextend, and then you punish them for overextending.
You know, though, that tectonic mega Hulk getting closer and closer to surfacing here. No, there's no doubt in anybody's mind now that that's a tectonic mega Hulk. I'm not spoiling any information. There's
Abs
literally nothing else it could be at this point. Uh,
Absolutely. All of the tunneling troops are 4 or less except for Mega Hulk.
so you see
This
that
is one of those
Crackling Bolt
moments.
deal with Cerulean Mirror Knight. Did Nullfem tunnel a troop before playing Cerulean Mirror Knight, or did he play Cerulean Mirror Knight?
I believe is
Ah,
Mirror Knight first and then tunneling second. In
yeah.
fact, it has to be. Yeah,
Which? Oh yeah. I thought he was at 4 resources for some reason.
right. We see a second tunneler here. And Nullfem's still stuck on just 3 resources. He does finally decide to cash in his champion power.
I'm not
Seems
really,
likely. They,
I'm not
go
really
ahead.
sure what I said that implied that Sorrow doesn't exist, but I definitely didn't intend to say that. Um, Man, that Tectonic Mega Hulk. I think that's actually the first time I've ever seen one with 6 counters. It's just kind of been a slow grind to get that Titanic Mega Hulk on board.
I've definitely seen it happen, but things have usually gone wrong when it does. So Maslar adding a lot of pressure to the board now. He's got the bot that's been turned into a war bot, so it can attack as a 3/3 instead of just being a 1/1 defensive. He's also added Terrabot to the board, which also dealt a damage with the War Machinist.
It's true. So all these little points of damage putting pressure onto the Blood Sapphire player who is apparently stuck on 3, even though he does continue to have tunneling troops.
Important to note, although he's stuck on 3, he has 2 blood and a single sapphire. So he doesn't have counter magic available to him currently, and he
But
also
he
doesn't have. Hmm?
but he does have the chance to just draw a shard into extinction, which would be huge here.
Right.
Actually, I think he's dead.
Yep, I believe this is gonna crush it over. This is just gonna kill him.
1 damage from the War Machinist when the Tectonic Mega Hulk surfaces. 8 damage
Yep,
from the Mega Hulk at the least, and then the rest of the board represents enough for lethal.
absolutely. And another Terabot.
Just for that extra point of damage.
Man, those Terabot's really nice. Would you play a 1 cost 3/5 artifact flyer? Yes, I would. Yep, and we see the full swing. That 10/10 crushing Mega Hulk gonna do lots of work here.
Apparently, opponent had 2 counter magic, but no sapphire for them.